So I recently had the opportunity to play around with the Asus ROG Swift OLED gaming monitor, and even though my time with it was very swift, it definitely left a mark. So let's chat about it. So firstly, this monitor is the ROG Swift PG27AQDM if you are looking for the exact model of this monitor, and this one is really special. It is a 26.5-inch QHD OLED gaming monitor with a 240Hz refresh rate and a lightning fast 0.3 millisecond response time, which is actually insane. Now, to be able to do this, Asus apparently had to design this heatsink and cooling system to keep the monitor cool and have it function the way that it does. But for me, they did a great job with the design because this monitor is still extremely thin, even with the heatsink part at the back. At the base of the monitor, you do have the ROG logo that shines down on your table, as well as the ROG logo at the back of the display that can also be tweaked to either from within the monitor menu or from within the desktop app if you want more sort of customization with that eye at the back of the monitor. This monitor can also be tilted up and down, side to side, and also be rotated 90 degrees to be used in portrait mode. But let's be honest, not a lot of people are gonna buy this for a Discord monitor, and the reason you're gonna buy it is either for its gaming performance or for creative work, or for both, which for me is probably the best case and the best reason to go out and buy this monitor. Now, in terms of ports, you do have a DisplayPort 1.4, two HDMI 2.0 ports that support VRR, which is great for Xbox consoles and PlayStation consoles, a headphone jack, as well as two USB 3.2 Type A ports. The menu system of this monitor is also really great. It's really one of my favorites within sort of the monitor scene. It's really easy to navigate, and you can change a bunch of different things like the brightness and contrast to turning on G-Sync, turning on screen protection settings, and even the color space if that is sort of settings that you want to change. There are also a bunch of other things that you can do from within the menu system. So if you actually go out and buy this monitor, I would highly suggest spending a little bit of time seeing what the menu can do and tweaking everything to the way that you like it and to the way that you actually need it. Now, when it comes to gaming, from free roaming in the Crew Motorfest for a few minutes to playing a few rounds of Apex Legends, I have to say that this monitor felt great for both console and PC gaming, although I would probably not buy this, especially for like Xbox Series X consoles or PlayStation 5s, mainly because this isn't a 4K monitor. I do feel like you are losing out a bit if you're not playing those next-gen consoles in 4K, but it could still be a really good option for you if you have your gaming PC and you're sort of using that for everyday use, and you have your console on your desk and you play console games every now and then it's just sort of easy access to just plug it into this monitor and use it. It still looks great, and you'll still have a good time playing your console on this monitor. Now, where this monitor really shines in terms of gaming is with PC gaming, because 1440p has always sort of been this holy grail of resolution when it comes to gaming. If you have a 1440p monitor and high refresh rate, you're sort of set to have a really good monitor for first-person shooters especially. Now, for me, I have to say that this monitor is really great for competitive shooters like CSGO, CS2, which is now released, Overwatch, and all these sort of other games like Call of Duty, since it has a 26.5-inch size, which is really good size for me for a desktop monitor. You can get it close to your face. You don't have to have it far away to reduce sort of eye strain. The 1440p resolution allows you to have a little bit more resolution within your games without actually straining your GPU too much. And then of course you have a 240Hz refresh rate with a 0.3 millisecond response time, which will allow you to just get that advantage above all of your opponents, which is really great and really handy when it comes to competitive shooters. Now, I did run a few minutes within the shooting range of Apex Legends, and I do have to say that this monitor felt extremely smooth. The inputs were immediate, and if you honestly still can't hit anything if you have this monitor, then the problem is probably you. With PS5 games, it did feel like I was sort of losing out since I wasn't playing in 4K, but if you like playing games like Call of Duty on your PS5 in 2K where you get the advantage of 120 frames per second, then you will definitely get the benefit with this monitor combined with your console. Now, watching content on this monitor was also a great experience. I watched a bunch of OLED demos and HDR videos on YouTube, and honestly, if I had more time, I would have watched so much more on this monitor, and everything just looks good. It looks amazing. The colors look really good. The blacks are really deep and rich, and it is something that is hard to sort of capture on camera, and especially if you don't have an OLED display, it's something that you won't be able to sort of see even if I capture it and show it to you. But if you see it in person, it really does look great. For creators, it's also a really great monitor since it can display 10-bit color and is really color accurate with 99% DCI-P3 color space, as well as 135% of the sRGB color space. It also has a non-glare finish, which is great if you're in brighter rooms. And the 240 Hz is also really great if you're doing a lot of animation work and stuff like that as well. Now, this monitor also comes pre-calibrated with a calibration report, but if you are someone that needs a monitor to be 100% color accurate, I would highly suggest still doing a color calibration, making sure that everything is sort of accurate with your PC, your monitor, in the environment that you're using. It's, you know, everything should be fine. If you do that, then you'll know that this monitor is 100% color accurate instead of sort of relying on it to be 100% accurate when you get it. Now, for general video and photo editing, this is really great. I did spend some time editing a few photos as well as a video just to sort of get the feel of how it would perform in these sort of situations. And I do have to say that this monitor will be more than enough for any of your sort of content creation needs, as well as more professional work as well. It also has HDR10 with a peak brightness of 1000 nits, which is actually really bright for OLED displays, meaning that you'll be able to use this for video work and photo work, even in brighter rooms, and still get exceptional results, which is something that's really good because a lot of people don't have dark rooms to work in, and you may have a lot of windows and stuff behind you or in front of you, and having that sort of brightness out of your display can be really handy. And then lastly, since it is OLED, you do have a great contrast ratio of 1.5 million to 1. And the fact that it is QHD at 26.5 inches, it is pretty sharp because the pixel density is around 0.2 millimeters per pixel. Now, overall, the Asus ROG Swift OLED gaming monitor is great. It looks good, it performed really well in gaming as well as creative tasks. But one thing that a lot of people have brought up since sort of the release of this monitor, as well as me posting about it, is the price. And yes, this is a fairly expensive monitor, but for me, for the price that you're paying for what you're getting for this monitor, it's actually not that expensive, even though it is a really expensive monitor. OLED monitors in general are expensive. High refresh rate monitors in general, especially if you look at 2K and 4K range, are expensive. And then if you take a look at creative monitors, they're also pretty expensive. Now you have this sort of one monitor that combines all of those worlds together and gives you this one monitor that can do it all. So thus, this monitor is gonna be expensive. It is also really special with the fact that it is an OLED monitor with a high refresh rate and a really tiny response time, which makes it really good for gaming, and then of course also for creative work as well. But now, would I actually go out and buy this monitor for gaming? Probably not. Would I buy it for creative work? Probably not. But the reason for me why you would actually go out and buy this monitor is if you really need a monitor for both of these worlds and you need them to sort of combine to get this one monitor that is really good for both of them. I wouldn't buy it for either or. I would definitely buy it if you need a gaming monitor that's really good, as well as a creative monitor that is really good. And if you're not going to be buying it for both of them, then this monitor is probably not worth it for you. And that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And then, as always, until next time, cheers.